to give you the details on this hair. This is the Forever Premium Weave Selection 5-piece by Bobbi Boss. I have it in FantasyWave in color number 2, and I love this hair. I have already purchased another pack of this hair in, I think I got 1B this time, the same FantasyWave, and I've also purchased another style. So I really like this hair. I love the way it behaves. I love the way it looks. The main thing I like about it is that it kind of looks like human hair. It looks like relaxed hair because it's not very shiny. If you use hot rollers or heat on it, after using a styling product on it, it gets this natural, real hair look to it, where it still has a luster, but it's not that weird plasticky shine on it. Like, you know what I'm talking about. If you buy wigs and weaves, you know what I'm talking about. So I noticed that I purchased the most recent one that I created, because this one's kind of old. She's kind of tired. And I bought another pack and I made another wig out of it, but it's kind of shiny, and I think it's shiny because I haven't used hot rollers on it yet. I created the wig, and then I put some Live on my hands and on it to sort of tame down the flyaways, and then I rolled it up with flexi rods. Still kind of shiny. I'm going to roll it up with hot rollers tonight, and I'll see what it looks like in the morning, but I noticed with this one, if you roll it up on hot rollers, it looks great. I filmed a separate video to give you some close-ups of the wig and my thoughts on it. This is 3 weeks old, and it's the longest piece is 22 inches, so it comes to here. The shortest piece is 16 inches. So it's a lot of hair, which I like. I like a lot of hair. You got a hand-tied lace closure, which you could cut to make an invisible part or leave as a closure. My second wig has a much better situation with the closure. This time I just glued it to the cap, and it doesn't look that great, but the new one that I made looks amazing because I used Love Kisses 99's way of applying your closure to a dome cap. And so it came out fantastic. It came out so much better. I was really excited about it. So this, though, I do recommend getting this hair. I recommend getting this style because it's just kind of a loose curl. I noticed that it doesn't curl that well, though, when you use a curling iron. So I've been using hot rollers. I don't have the patience for a curling iron and then holding the curl there while it cools off. I can't deal with that. So I use hot rollers, which really works for me. I have not been using a thermal protectant or heat setting spray. When I use the hot rollers, I just use Live, which is a cream hairdress, and then I just roll it up in the hot rollers. And then I just take it down in the morning. And I'm not very particular about the pattern either. I mean, I'm grabbing bunches of hair and rolling it up, and that's kind of the end of it. I haven't decided yet. I'm planning on retiring her, but at the same time, I love it as a ponytail wig because I don't have one of those. And I have all these cute hair accessories that could be used perfect with if you had a ponytail, to put in a ponytail. So I might use this as a ponytail wig. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But the hair bounces back to life when you flat iron it. It really does. So right now I'm going to go to the video that I made of me talking about the hair close up and showing you some of the details about what I did with it and like how I constructed the cap. Alright, initially I tried to do this with a tripod, but I did not like the way it came out. So we're just going to go handheld on it. Here is FantasyWave from Forever 5-piece collection by Bobbi Boss. So this is her after 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I had flat ironed the hair and I had rolled it up on hot curlers for a couple of days, and when I took it down it kind of fell out. I don't feel like it holds a curl very well after you flat iron it. You're kind of done. It still looks nice, though, and the hair is still very soft. It does completely, soften up, and the ends, pull themselves together. I'm going to focus there. After you flat iron it, looks great. It does tangle when you're, it's rubbing against your clothes. Sorry, you guys, I have to focus. But it will, straighten itself out. If you flat iron it, you're good to go. I was going up to $350. It suggests on the label not to go. The higher you go, they were like, the more damage you'll do to the hair, of course. And they suggested using lower heat. Now, this is the first wig I made with this hair. And this is what the label looks like. This is the young lady that is on it. And it's FantasyWave. This is in the number 2. And you get a 20, a 20, a 22, 20, 18, 16. So it's 5 pieces. And you get a closure, which is a really nice closure. So it is, you know, a lace type closure. I made the mistake, though, when I made this the first time. I glued it on, and then I had hot glue. And on top of that, I didn't use, like, wig glue, the bonding glue. I used hot glue, which made for this really horrible flakiness that eventually went away, but I was a little panicked initially. Not happy with that result. The next time I did it, I actually sewed the closure on because I do like the way it looks. This is actually my second wig that I've made. I also did a much better job with the back. It's kind of flyaway though, so I'm not very happy with that. I have a lot of flyaways. So I am going to roll it up on hot rollers and just roll it up in chunks. That tends to control it. So let's go back over here. This is my first wig with this hair, and I really liked it. I like this hair. I love how it's not very shiny, so it's more realistic looking. That's one of the things I like about it. And the front and the sides, any part that actually wasn't touching my clothes still looked amazing. Like 3 weeks in, I mean, it was perfect. Super shiny, not tangled at all. Now, the one thing I did make a mistake with on my first, I've gotten much better at this, was this horrible situation that I had going on back here in the back. I had to make my own closure, which did not come out that great. As you can see, the glue, it's all mashed. It's not like all of the hair is not emanating from the middle, like on most closures that you see. This is where I had rolled. You know how you put the glue on and then you roll it and flatten it with the flat iron? It was pretty rough going right here. So I didn't use enough hair to do this. So that's one thing. And then second, I hadn't placed the tracks properly so that they would be covered with hair. So as you can see 2 tracks right there touching together. Focus. And then here you can see some tracks. Now this was on the top of my head, so you couldn't really see it that much. And I teach, so people aren't generally I'm not usually sitting and people are standing over me. So I went on ahead and wore this. Because at the time I didn't have another wig. Because it's not super obvious. But as you can see, it was a little rough. So I did not make this mistake the next time I did my hair, which I'll explain in the video for that wig. But, you know, we all make mistakes. And that's one of the reasons it's so important to not use your, you know, $150 Brazilian bundles while you're still learning. But okay, I hope that was helpful. And I do want to say this is my 6th or 7th wig that I've made. The only way to get better with making wigs is to practice. So if you make your first one and you're like, oh my goodness, do not stop. You can't stop because you have to continue doing it so you'll know how to lay the tracks down and what is the best process for you to make wigs, which is why I highly recommend you get the cheap hair in the back of the store that's on clearance to make your wig. I would suggest a minimum of 3 packs if you're trying to do an invisible part, a minimum of 4 packs. I'm kind of over invisible parts. I have 2 weeks coming up I have to show you guys that I tried to do invisible parts with, and I'm kind of done. I'm over invisible parts. They are way too much work. I'd rather buy a closure, to be honest. So if you want to do that, I suggest 4 packs. If not, just to do a regular wig, 3 packs, and just practice. Find that $5 hair or lower. You know, at the beauty supply around my house, they call it the $5 holler, and it's just bunches of hair in the back, and they're like just trying to get rid of it. And if only to practice laying your tracks down, how you apply your glue, and how you create closures. Because practice makes perfect. It really does. I just wanted to give you a close-up of my most recent wig. I am really happy with it. This again is the Bobbi Boss Forever 5. In FantasyWave, this is in color 2. I really love this hair. I mean, I love it. It's super soft. I am actually going to put this back on flexi rods. I did not use the entire pack. I probably should have. I probably could have put more tracks on the bottom. But I have a system now of how I lay the tracks down so that I get a nice even application. And it actually doesn't apply as much to these whole head in a pack packages. I am learning it means a lot more when you do what I have been doing when you are just buying separate packs of hair in order to make a wig. I have noticed that when you get these like whole head in a pack, or that includes my Luxe ones as well as these Forever 5 ones, which is the second, whole head in a pack kit that I have bought, you have enough hair. You have enough hair. You can kind of double up the tracks a little bit and you're okay. I did a much better job this time with the closure at the top, as well as like figuring out how to place the hair. So here's the closure. I sewed it in this time, and it is sitting right next to the edge. And I also, let me tighten up this so I won't tilt. When I did it, I sewed it to the cap right here and here. And then when I finished that, I made the tracks go all the way up to the edge. So here's the track. And this track is going all the way up to the edge, as you can see. And it's going around the closure. So the tracks are going all the way up around the closure, which is how I got this smooth finish in the back here. For my brush. Because I have the tracks, the way I have the tracks laid, so there was no need, not closure, that's not what I should be saying. I should be saying the part. The lace front part. Not the kind of closure where you got that circular closure in the back. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the type that gives you a part, a natural part. And by doing what I did with this and then how I laid the tracks, I was able to get this nice smooth back. Now, I didn't need as much hair up here near that part as I needed in the back. So that's why I probably could have laid the tracks closer in the back, because I ended up with kind of a lot of hair left. Now I'm going to take this off of here and show you all where I sewed. So here's the closure. And as you can see, here it is right here, and then I cut out the inside. So, and here's my stitches right along the edge here. All the stitching that I did. And then I cut the elastic. It lays super close to my scalp like this. Love Kisses 99 made a great tutorial on this. So I'll link it in the description box. But I'm going to do all of my lace front closures like this from now on. Sewing them on and then cutting out. And I didn't even cut out a lot. I just cut the elastic band part. I didn't even cut all of this out. Just the elastic band part is all I cut out. And she does this great tutorial to show you how to do it on dome caps so that it'll lay super flat on your head. And I love the way it worked out with this wig. So I'm really happy with this. But of course, I wanted to give you guys a close-up shot of it. I put a little, it was a little flyaway, in my opinion. So what I did was I put a little bit of the lip on my hands, and I ran my hands through it with the lip on my hands. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll it back up on my flexi rods and leave it like that until tomorrow when I'm actually going to put it on for work. But I'm very happy with how this one came out, how I finished it. So I'm going to do all the wigs I have from now on to have a lace front closure.